Hey, Case.
Yeah, bud.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm working on something real quick for this show. So let me just knock this out before our guest arrives.
Is it a song?
Nope.
Do you need complete focus?
No.
Okay. Is it a surprise for me? Our guest is about to
Yeah,
arrive.
kind of.
Can I let our guest in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yo,
Yo,
Yo.
how's it going?
what up?
What's up, kid?
Long time no see, bro.
Wow, look at this. 3 Staten Island herbs, bro.
Fucking herbs.
Does your group of friends like carry on the herb torch as much as our group of friends does?
That was probably the first time I've heard it since the last time I probably spoke to you about it. I think it's just you.
Do you say safety when someone farts?
Um, I think we used to do that. No, I haven't heard that one lately.
I did that
Is
for
that
years.
is that a Staten Island thing, you think, or is it just a
I don't know.
Safety.
It's when if you fart and you say safety, there are no consequences. You can fart without consequence. But
I've never heard that.
if you fart and someone says doorknobs, they get to punch you in the arm until you find a doorknob and touch it.
you have to
You've
touch
heard
the
this?
doorknob?
No, I never heard that.
You know this one?
We did. I was just gonna say we did that a lot.
Which is, I guess, for anyone listening and not watching, it's the circle. It's the
What
white
about
power sign.
It's
sniper?
it's the white power. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's what sucks about the white power sign. It really took over that
They
whole
co-opted everything.
Isn't
that
it a
thing.
gang sign?
Well,
I thought-
this is white power P.
Oh,
Was
okay.
that what that?
That's
Okay.
that's why it's white power, and then it's you'll see like people like weird nationalists and stuff post that emoji on there.
Not just white nationalists, but weird nationalists too.
Weird nationalists. But yeah. Anyway,
We did
our
something called
guest today.
sniper. What about sniper? Like if
What's
you
that?
if you fell, if you
Oh, I don't
tripped
know
or
this.
something, someone would be like, I think it was just my group of friends, like sniper or super sniper. It means like you tripped. I guess like you
Like
went to
everyone
attack
down,
by
someone
everyone.
shot him.
Yeah, like like you ever just bust your ass real quick.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I
The
didn't know
best
if
one
that-
is the best one, and I bet you know this one. And Joe and I think I've talked about this. Is icing a bro?
Icing a bro. What's
Is that what
that?
it's called?
I don't know if that's like the term, but when you ice somebody with a Smirnoff Ice,
Do you remember this?
I remember smearing off ices, but I never heard icing someone.
Okay, so what you would do is you would hide it somewhere, so like a warm Smirnoff ice, and if they open it up and find it, they're like "fuck," and they have to
they have
get
to
on
get
one
down on
knee
their knee. Yeah.
Ah.
and drink the whole thing, no matter what time it was or anything.
I just remember like at every party there was a new kind of Smirnoff ice that everyone was drinking, and I could never get behind anything. Like I don't like those sugary, nasty drinks.
Isn't
I
it
guess
funny that they're back?
Are they?
Yeah, like all these White Claws. That's just
Oh.
Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
just constant rebranding. Well, we were warned about this in the Dare program. They used to call them wine coolers, I guess. And as a kid, I was like, "What the fuck's a wine cooler?"
Mike's
And-
Hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike's Hard was huge.
Huge. Where is Mike?
He's
Is
hard.
he still in? Is he still in the
He's still
game?
hard.
He's got a bunch of
Is
diners
he
on
still
Staten Island.
hard?
He does have a bunch of diners. I'm
Uh,
actually like almost family with Mike. Like
The
oh,
Mike?
really?
the Mike.
Wow.
And I say
That's
that
funny.
because not because I'm Greek, but my mom, when she first came to this country, she like her first job was like being a hostess in a diner. And Mike like owns every diner, and we just became like super. He's like a super good guy. He owns like all of
Mhm.
Staten Island. He owns shit that you don't even think he owns.
Really? He's like a baron, the land baron of Staten Island.
Yeah, he literally
Remember-
owns all of New York Lane.
No
You know
shit.
how people like in the past they would always say like local celebrity.
Mhm.
He is a local meme.
Yeah.
What do you mean,
You know,
meme?
like he's a local meme. Like there are like pictures and stuff about like Mike's
Oh,
Mike's
right.
thing
He,
like
he
that.
probably doesn't even know it.
Right, because he owns so many. I've seen like I've been in group chats where people have dropped like this Mike's like owns this thing, Mike owns everything meme. And it's like it's so funny to have a local meme, like a small time
Yeah, only
Staten
we
Island
would
meme.
understand that meme. But the funny part is that he probably doesn't like the diner money is probably just like bonus money from him. He owns the buildings. He owns like banks, like banks like pay him rent. I don't know if I'm like supposed to tell this guy's business, but like it's not like crazy. Like he's a real estate mogul. Like he owns shit and people pay him rent.
He's a Staten Island Trump.
Exactly.
Everyone's been calling him.
Or did you ever see the Founder of the McDonald's movie?
I have not.
No, I've never seen it. You've seen a lot. You've seen a lot of flicks, Vinny. I feel like, yeah, I've always known you to be like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Mostly docs too.
Yeah, you got to watch The Founder, though. It's great. But really, the pivotal moment of The Founder was when he realized that he wasn't really going to make crazy money off of McDonald's, but more so buying the buildings and the land that the McDonald's was in. And that's when he started making real money.
Yeah, that's smart.
Ray Kroc, right?
Ray Kroc, a.k.a. Mike's Diner, whatever the hell his last name is.
Yeah. I don't know his last name. He's just a mysterious. I don't know what he looks like. He's like
Greek thing.
He's 35 years old perpetually in my mind.
Are you related to anyone else? Anyone else notable, Vinny?
Any other Staten Island royalty?
Staten Island royalty? No, that's about it.
You went to college with our good friend Jenny Pecora. I think I've told you this a couple times. Her name was Jenny Miller, and now Jenny Pecora was at CSI. Yeah, CSI.
Who was? I'd have to see her. I probably took a couple classes with her. You did tell me this.
Yeah.
I think I was in an Italian class with her.
She was always very proud of what you became, young man.
A young Italian man.
That makes somebody.
It's funny because we met at a funny point, I think, like in what you were in, like your career and stuff. Like you were in between Jersey Shores, which is usually like a bridge.
Yeah, but I used to watch you perform at UCB because I used to do UCB while season 2 of Jersey Shore was going on. I was taking UCB classes, and I used to watch you on stage and everything. And that was at the peak of Jersey Shore fame, but not a lot of people knew that I did UCB classes. Mm-hmm. But then in between is when I actually met you at Joking Off, and I was like, oh, I fucking know this guy from UCB, watching it.
Yeah, what's funny is around UCB there were a couple people that took classes that everyone was like, can you believe this person takes classes? You were one of them. There was also Padma Lashke, is that her name?
Oh yeah, the chef.
Yeah, or she's maybe one of the hosts of Top Chef, or Padma. And then also Saif was another person, Saif of Sounds. I remember being like, that to me was the craziest one because I'd listen to him on the radio all the time.
Yeah.
And then you'd always hear these little stories of you know what I mean? There was somebody who was like Kristen Wiig's boyfriend was in my class, and Kristen Wiig came to our show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's always and everyone heard about it. It was so funny. Everyone would be like, "Can you believe Kristen Wiig was there?" It's so as funny. If she's gonna be like, "I want this whole team to be on SNL."
Has that ever happened in the history of UCB? Someone in the audience is a scout for something?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it used to. I think even before Vinny or I took classes. I mean, maybe there'd probably be people from production companies or something that are casting directors who are just seeing who's out there. But I don't know if anyone's poached in the past though. And I think it used to be Lorne Michaels would go see improv shows and be like,
so weird.
I like this guy back in Chicago, or, when he'd go to, the Groundlings and see people and be like that. Okay, this person gets an audition.
I just can't picture two guys in suits in the back of the UCB theater. I like that guy. Let's sign him up.
Yeah. They have binoculars or
cigars.
Yeah.
Did you ever do a show with Amy
Poehler?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
No.
That makes one of us. I upped you there.
You did?
You're the improv genius.
Was it ASCAT?
I was doing my 800th monologue at ASCAT. And she came to one of the shows, but what was cool was that she was kind of involving me in not the scenes, but we would do little skits to collect the money and shit like that, and we had a dance party and whatever, and it was just fucking epic. It was so cool.
That's fun. I miss those days.
That's a goal. That's there are certain people that I would love to improv with, or improvise with, I should say. When I started taking classes or seeing shows, it was Donald Glover was he was never even on a house team, but I'd see him perform at Cage Match. And you know, that the team that he was on was like, everyone is like writers or performers on TV shows, Silicon Valley, all that stuff. Like like Zach Woods was my first teacher. And I had him again for 501. It's pretty crazy. There was a crop, and Lisa and I talk all the time about how we were in this weird window right afterward where a lot of people got jobs, but no one blew up to the extent of some of the people, with the exception of like, you know, Sashir Zameda and like a few other people who from like our quote unquote era. But it's so funny to have these generational things.
Does it still like what's happening with you know with like UCB and COVID and stuff? Is it just like shut
I
down right
don't
now?
think it'll ever reopen. I think it's kind of, I think it's possible that maybe they'll open up for classes again, because it's still sort of it's of improv theaters. It's probably more of a household name than anything else.
I heard that they got like a pretty big loan, like $1 million
did?
loan for small businesses, but I don't know if that's like, going to be just to pay things off. I don't know if they're going to use that to do anything.
Well, because I just I don't know if you heard, but like I also got a place in LA as well. And
Oh, you did?
And,
Congrats.
thank you. And you know, I've always said when I go out to LA, I wanted to like check out UCB out there. And, you know, it gives you like a sense of community, something to do, a good hobby. It's always been a passion of mine. And I remember in New York, I made it past like a Harold audition, like down from like 700 to like 60 people.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get on. And then like I never did improv again.
Really? Even
And
at like,
I heard that
never,
happens. Like it took, because like I was like, the next time I'm gonna be able to do this is a year from now, meaning audition for the Harold team.
Yeah.
And or a Lloyd team, right? It's both of them.
Yeah, at that time, yeah, I think you auditioned for one, and then you either get placed on a Lloyd or a Harold, or most of the time you only can get on Lloyd and then Harold, which is like, all right, so for people listening, it's like beginning, yeah, it's like JV to varsity.
And I would have rather like not made it at all, but just getting past kind of like fucked me up because I was like almost right there. And then there was like never any clear cut path to get better or to work on it, because at that point I was in advanced study. And you know, like when you're going through the levels and stuff, like you have like a path, like a curriculum and a goal. But when you're in advanced study and you're just kind of jumping around like little teams, there's really no structure to it. So I just like stopped doing it. And then I always said, like, if I ever went to LA, I would love to do it again. So I hope they open up for classes. And I would even start from like, I wouldn't say the beginning, but like, I don't know, like 301 or something like that, if I could.
Yeah. It's so fun. I miss it so much. That's the thing. Like, you know, Joe and I have talked about, like, I was doing a show every single week, even up until the quarantine, like yeah, I was on a house team. That was a Saturday night show at like 10 or 10:30. It switched at UCB East, but then it became Subculture. And it was so fun. I mean, it's even like if it was like the audience was like halfway full, it was still just like so fun.
And they're still doing like, are they doing online classes? That seems like a weird way to go.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
So hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do you do that? I mean, I know there's a new theater opening up called the Squirrel Improv Theater or the Squirrel Theater, and it's a bunch of friends of mine. And I'm excited for them. And they're doing like online classes, like workshops, not necessarily just improv, but like writing or performing in this sort of.
Well, you could definitely host like a sketch comedy or an improv class, COVID friendly. Like, it's not like there's a million people in them, and you know, you don't.
It's an intensive. Everyone moves in together for a week.
There you go, quarantine bubble.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think like so much of the class, especially like in 201, when you're learning about game, which is what like the UCB calls, like basically like what their version of improv is this thing called game, where it sort of makes this way a teachable version of doing improv. Because before that, it's just kind of like play a character and say these things, say whatever comes to your head and like tips and tricks. But this was like a teachable way to repeat a format. Then they called it game. And I think like it's so heady that it's okay if you sat down like this to explain the idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. It's that's what kind of made me really enjoy it, because like I'm not really naturally, I mean, I don't know if I'm funny or not, but like it was never about being funny. It's more about just finding the game. And then once you find the game, it just kind of becomes funny.
Yeah, I love it.
It all.
Yeah, it's like therapeutic too to be like, don't try to be funny, just try to be honest, and then you'll find.
Question though,
Yeah.
like I always think about this myself. Remember when I said I want to go back and maybe do like 301? I kind of like started getting too heady by the time I got to advanced study
Mm,
and learning like a Harold and shit. And I just like almost was a little bit better when I was just raw and learning it for the first time.
for sure.
Then when I'm like trying, all I'm thinking about is this structure of how the Harold's supposed to go.
Dude, it ebbs and flows. And I bet you, like, Joe, you could probably speak to this sometimes with like bass. Like Joe's like aside from, writing and comedy stuff, he plays music, but just as a, like, it's sort of a curve goes up and down. Like in the beginning, sometimes you're so raw that you accidentally fall into things.
Yeah,
And then when you
exactly.
start to think about what you were doing there, it messes you up. But then if you could get to a place where you could like learn from what you thought about and kind of like do it on command, you're better off for it.
It needs to
But
be
you have to
running
go through.
in the background of your thoughts. You know, to like you know it so well that you're not even thinking about it anymore, and then that's when it kind of sneaks in to your subconscious, and you can act on those things without thinking about them or overthinking. You know?
Lisa would make fun of me because there would be months, like even in the last couple of years, where I'd be like, I'm really hot right now. Like I'm good at improv right now. And then months where I'm like, I've been bad for like 3 shows, and it's all like micro, like it's all your own personal, no one would, I don't think other people would think that way, but it's like, you just kind of have these things of like, oh, I want to get back to basics. I want to,
Well, because like, I mean, in you guys, I'm sure in the back of your head, you know the structure and everything, but like at the end of the day, you know it so well, you're just having fun. Meanwhile, like when you're just learning it, you're not really having fun. You're thinking so much about performing the structure the right way. I have to connect scene A to scene B, and now we're at scene C, and I have to connect scene A and B and C together. And then at a certain point, you're like not really having fun.
Yeah, it's like work.
and then you also like in the early classes, like there's other people who are going through the same thing, and some of them might like really suck, and you might suck too. So you're bringing each other down.
That's
So
true.
when you get to do more reps or perform with people who are better, it just sort of all falls into place. But it also is so much of it is chemistry.
Did you ever do those? What was that called? On like, what I never did it, but on when was it Wednesday night?
Jam,
The teacher
What was it
jams
called?
jamming with Ralph.
No, who's Ralph?
That was just what it was called. It was called Jamming with Ralph, and it would be like a jam where you just go up and do improv with whoever. And
Were they like people off the street?
it was like an improv jam. Yeah.
You have to sign up, no? Like
You sign. Oh, well,
could be
there's
anyone.
different ones. There was all these different jams, right? There was
Oh, there
one called
was
like,
one night where there's people off the fucking street.
oh, I did. I had to host that for a couple of years. Me and my team like took the honor of hosting it, and there would be this like old man who
Yeah,
used to come in
I
from
think
the
I
street,
saw that guy.
and it would always be so much fun because we'd have to improvise with people, so that like it's that thing of like you get to perform with people who have been on the stage, like the quote unquote like not vets but people who've been around, and we'd have to like perform with like full psychos, and in a good way. Like I loved it.
Yeah.
But like this old guy would come in and he'd just come out and be like, I'm dying in scenes, like as a joke, but like also people would be like, wait, what? He would derail every scene, and we'd always have to like pick it up and be like, the ghost is back, and like try to have it make sense.
Did you find that like that was a good exercise for you? And not even the crazy guy, but just when someone is bad in general, that like of you guys having to pick it up. Like you should never, right? You should never in improv feel like this is going nowhere. In fact, maybe if it's going nowhere, it's more of a challenge to figure it out, right?
I've always been I like, not to pat my back, but I've always been really good at like working with the crazy people. Like I'm actually like a pretty good straight man when it comes to people being insane. It's because like in college, I remember there were some people who were like out to lunch crazy and like would say just anything and blurt it out, and then I'd have to weave it into a scene. And I just like doing it, and I like working with people that are like that, or just I feel like there's no bad choice. So I think that was just more of exercising that muscle, and I really had fun with it. And sometimes I would hit it back in a crazy way, just not even to be the straight man or whatever it's called nowadays. But it's interesting.
Yeah, if you live with it long enough and you're comfortable, like, all right, this might not be going anywhere for a little while. This might sound crazy for a little while, but just have the confidence that you will find it eventually.
It's
Yeah,
like
I
any
mean,
conversation you have with anybody
Oh, go ahead.
at any time. It's the same thing.
Facts.
This episode right now, like who knows where it's going, you know? I think it's the same thing. So you have
Facts.
to look at it that way with everything.
I'm
It was-
dying.
Make it funny.
Yeah. I mean, if you just go to the basics in improv of like most of the time, if someone says something crazy, you could just say where you are or who that person is to you, and then the scene is good. If a person
Mm.
comes and was like, I'm dying, right? And you just say something like, you know what I mean? Doctor, we shouldn't really make this about you. You know what I mean? Like you could just kind of like weave what the rest of the scene is with one line to like, and then you're off to the races, or that puts it in a location or a relationship, and then it's like that's all it needs.
Mhm.
Second line. I mean, I love the idea of like the second line fixing the whole thing. One of my favorite was, and this is we're just recounting improv, but Scott Atsit, incredible improviser. He was
From
him
30
and
Rock?
him and John Lutz were supposed to do a show, and John Lutz was super late. He was like hit traffic, and he just didn't show up. Like he didn't get there until like the second half, and it's like an hour show. So the first half, he was like, "I'm just going to bring people up from the audience. Everyone wants to perform with me, and we'll do some scenes."
Oh,
And so
shit.
he would bring people up, and everyone was kind of bad, and he always made it work. I always made it work. Sorry, always made it work. One guy had this thing where he just started like putting sheets into a washing machine, and was like, he was just like doing it without thinking of what it was, just putting sheets, and he was just like, these sheets are ruined. And then Scott Atsit just goes, yeah, but what are we going to do with the body? And it was like genius. Like
Yeah.
it's as if you sat down and you paused time and you were like, let me think of the best thing to say. I don't think I would come up with one as good as that.
No. And
It's just so, yeah.
I don't know who listens to like this podcast or if any of my people will listen to this, but
The entire cast of Jersey Shore listens to this. It's all we have.
yeah. Oh my God, I always try to get them to play improv games when we're just like sitting around doing nothing.
Oh man.
And they fucking hate it so much.
Do they
But
do they go
That's
along with
funny.
it, or do they
who
fail?
goes along with it? A couple people go along with it. I was really doing it a lot when we were doing the last dating show because it was just like us, me and Paulie, and like 20 girls in the house.
Did the girls do
That's
improv?
funny.
No, well, I would like make them do like bunny, 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 bunny.
Oh, warm-up games, not even like improv scenes. Like,
Oh no, not improv scenes. Improv
That's
scenes would be
funny.
a nightmare. I would have to be on your level to figure that out. But yeah, just warm-up games like anyone can do. But no, what I was saying was like there's just like another level of genius when you're watching someone like what was his name? Scott
Atsit.
Yeah, like just think of that line, and it's just like it just came to him. He didn't write
Yeah.
it in the stand-up routine. Like
Because everyone watching is playing along. Everyone, whether they know it or not, is like, here's what would be funny, or here's what I would say, and when it tops that, when it's unexpected, that's like the best.
so it's the best, and it's like so underrated. I mean, not underrated to us or to people that know what it is, but
It looks easy. They make it look easy.
yeah, and I just say to like literally, I'm talking about improv so much just because I can't ever talk about improv with anybody because
Yeah,
like I'm like
I know.
because they're like, what do you do? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, I used to do improv, but then you have to like explain it and shit,
Yeah.
I know it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if even our audience is like, I don't understand this, but
Well, I haven't even started recording yet, so it's fine.
Oh, good.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I looked up.
How do you like LA? You're not there now. You're
Oh
in New York.
yeah,
I just got back to Staten Island.
Right. You were
and
flying last week when we texted you to invite you on. Like,
I tried
the
to
moment.
answer it on the plane,
yeah.
but JetBlue Fly-Fi isn't that great, I guess.
No. Is it Boingo Wi-Fi? I hate that shit.
JetBlue has its own. It's like
Okay.
Wi-Fi, and it's like super easy. It's free. You don't have to like log in or anything like that, which I appreciate. Yeah, I mean, I've been going to LA for like 10 years, so it's not like anything really new to me. I just never have like had my own spot there that I kind of like call home, and I've always wanted to. And even though I love New York so much, and I think that New York is somewhere I'll always be, and I just want to experience living somewhere else for like a couple of years.
Yeah, it's cool.
oh yeah, that's smart. Why like this is a great time to do it too. I mean, I don't mean the pandemic, but I just mean like where you're at, where you're at in life, and like your age and stuff.
Yeah, I felt that it was almost like, I don't want to say like the last chance, but 33, single, still kind of don't really know what I'm doing with my life. So it was like, yeah, it was a good, like, I call it like my college years almost that I never had
Do
because
you
I
feel,
went to CSI.
Yeah.
do you feel like it's kind of your job to be single?
It has kind of become a job. Well, the first season we did that dating show, um, like I was single, like it just happened, it wasn't really an issue. Um, the second season of Double Shot at Love, it wasn't a dating show at that point. So I didn't really feel the pressure. Like I could have had a
Right.
girlfriend, I could have gotten with one of those girls, whatever. It wasn't really like that. And then now going forward, I don't know. I mean, because now like I host the show Chippendales in Vegas, which is like
Yeah.
obviously it's like fun when you're single to do it. So yeah, I kind of have look, like I definitely am ready for meeting like the right person, but I do have a kind of single-ish type of brand, I guess. As
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
as that
Yeah.
sounds.
I mean, me too, man. I'm getting married
Player,
very soon.
fucking pimp.
Yeah. What are
It's
you
so
drinking?
funny.
Is that a keto smoothie?
Yeah, it's not really keto, but I just worked out, so I have like a little smoothie I just made.
How's the
Vinny, is
cookbook
there?
doing?
Oh yeah.
Keto Guido cookbook. Is it good? It must be selling more this year since everyone's cooking at home.
No, the cookbook did really well, but I'll be the first to tell you that that wasn't really like a money making project for me.
Mhm.
Like I do things that I just are passions of mine and
Yeah.
shit. And like that's kind of just like my way of saying like, yo, like I'm serious about this. I love cooking. I love to do this. And I don't know, I just like books because they kind of like live forever. You can always like just share it with
It is
somebody,
nice.
whatever.
Yeah.
But no, it actually did sell a lot. But it's kind of like hard for me to like explain keto to like people like publishers and like
Yeah.
now I want to do a podcast about it and people like just like aren't getting it. And really what I'm trying to explain is that like keto, like the word keto is not like I'm not married to it, like ketosis and the ketogenic diet. It just kind of like a catchy nickname for me, like
Sure.
Guido. And I am in ketosis once in a while, but I'm more about just like being healthy, living like a low sugar, like not a lot of processed food, um, fatty type of diet. And that's
Yeah.
Keto-esque.
hmm?
Keto adjacent.
Keto-esque, right?
Correct.
Keto-esque.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know why I started saying that, but yeah, that's it.
No, I think it makes sense. I mean, it's a fun identity, but I agree. Like
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off. I was
Oh
saying
yeah.
that because when I would go to sell the book and shit, like it wasn't like I got like $500,000 advance for the Keto Guido cookbook. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because like people are like, what the fuck is this? But I will tell you that it's the most successful thing I've ever done. Like just
Like on your
as,
own.
on my own, like as like
Yeah.
a part of who I am. Like my Keto Guido page has 1 million followers, and like my social media there sucks. Like I'm not even doing anything. I'm like posting like my steak. People
Yeah.
really like it. Like they
Yeah.
like.
You do this thing on Instagram where you will do like a story, like you'll be at a club and like they'll give you a ton of food. It's like all black, but you have your light on with your
Yeah.
phone and you go over the food with your phone and it's just a light on it. So it's like really doesn't to me it doesn't look that good, but still I'm like, man, this is a cool lifestyle. Like he's just like out of the like a cool club getting to eat like 6 steak. So it
First of
works, but
all,
it's
like
also
everybody
so
that goes to eat with me, they know that when the food comes out, no one can touch their food
Right.
because
that's so funny.
I got to do the fucking influencer thing. But it's not, it's really because I fucking love food. Like I just love
Yeah.
It's the
eating
best.
good food and shit. And like a lot of times, like the restaurant will give it to me for free. So like
Yeah.
I'll post like who they are and
Hell
shit.
yeah.
But even when they don't give it to me for free, like I'll post it. Maybe I won't tag them.
So you don't have any problem with like doing like advertising like that?
It depends, like I like to help out like small businesses and
You
shit.
do. You do.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like if it's like a small business, 100% I'll post them, I'll tag them. And if it's something I really like too, that I'm authentically going to on my own,
Right.
then I have no problem supporting. But if somebody wants to like fucking, like one time I went to eat in Canada, and I went to this place, and I'll make it short, but like they're like, yeah, like what do you want to eat? Any allergies? Don't worry, we got you. So I'm fucking posting. Like I'm like, they're sending me out like 10 courses, and they're sending me out like so much fish. I don't really even eat fish, but they heard me say low carb.
Mm,
So they started just bringing me like mountains of chicken and fish, blah, blah, blah.
that's funny.
And then at the end of it, they give me a bill for the whole thing.
Oh
Wow,
man.
yeah, that's
They
tricky.
ran that shit up. And I was like, yo, this is not about me paying. I have no problem paying, but if I'm gonna pay, it's gonna be for food that I ordered
Yeah,
or I
Yeah.
want.
I got there was a bar that opened up, and they were like, "You got to try the cheese plate, man. You have to try it." And I was like, and it seemed like he was offering it for free. I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'll try it." And it was like this $40 cheese plate that I didn't really even want. It just sounded like he was going to give me a little sample, and it was the
Mhm.
same thing. I mean, not
It's
the
a
same
scam
thing, but yeah.
$40 cheese plate.
So,
Yeah, but
Vinny, I'm glad to hear that both, you like, helping out small businesses. And I'm also glad that you maybe have maybe a legal case against these people who are pushing this food on you.
That's what it sounds like to me.
So
Yeah.
I have something that I'm going to put into the chat that I'd like you to read.
okay.
Don't read too far into it. Just start going as soon as you see it. You ready? Okay. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Vinny, or better known as Vincent Joseph Guadagnino. Spelled wrong.
Close.
You may know me from that one season of my cooking show, Vinny and Ma Eat America, or maybe the 2 episodes of Revenge Prank with DJ Paulie D and Vinny. I was a guest 5 times on the Today Show, where I did 800 monologues at ASCAT, or maybe you know me from the Jersey Shore season of MTV's The Real World. Anywho, this might come as a shock to you, but I need legal counseling often. And whenever I am in the Georgia area, specifically Griffin, Georgia, I call Jody Sellers at the Sellers Law Firm, 770-415-9848. That's
That's
770-415-9848. One more time, 770-415-9848. Okay, last one, 770-415-9848. What did I just
Wow.
do? What
Incredible.
did I just
that's
do?
a record.
What did I just do?
What did I just do?
You just hit our sponsor. Thank you so much, Vinny. Like, because it's nice because usually we have to do it, but I love that you like to help a small business. If
And you
you
just
want,
like, improvise that from the top of your head. That was really cool.
if you want the $25, I'll send it to you. So
That reminded me of the pilot that we did.
that's right. That's right. I should have put that in there. If maybe you know him from the pilot that that we pitched to networks and none of them wanted it.
What was the pilot? Was it a keto pilot? A keto
No.
related?
No,
Okay.
that's you tell him, Case.
So, all right. So it was a show idea that we had where, this was in between seasons of Jersey Shore, and Vinny's sort of like POV was sort of like, I want to do more things. I want to get out there. I want to, and I was like, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to put you in some scenarios that I think will build your character. And like, there's no way to fail, and the idea was that I would put him into, precarious situations that I had some roundabout way of explaining why it works. So like I had him give like like we went to a bunch of kids that were playing basketball, and I just made him, I wrote a speech for him and made him read the speech to them. So it like had elements of Jokers, but like in this personal way of like, I'm always throwing him under the bus, but like saying like, this is a good example of like how you could speak in front of people, or, I made him do stand up at, where was it?
I think it was at New York Comedy Club, and he
Yeah.
gave me a box of props, and I
Like corny props.
and I didn't see the props until I literally was on stage.
And he
So he was
bombed.
just
It
putting
was-
me in. He was putting me in. Because my life is kind of like a weird walking TV show, like the weird reactions I get from people, and I'm kind of like, I'm famous, but I'm not famous. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
So it was just like kind of just walking around making a weird TV show out of my life. And yeah, one of the scenes was he gave me a speech to read to these high school kids, and I never looked at it before. So that's why that just reminded me of it.
Right.
Yeah. And so it was so much fun to do. And I mean, we pitched it around and everyone was like, no, but it wasn't like, I don't think it was.
It's hard. It's hard to pitch shit.
It was funny.
Well, also, I don't really like the company that we were with. Like, they were kind of new at like making TV, and like those people like they're not there anymore. So I get a lot of that in this business. Like you'll like pitch a show, or like I had this show called The Show with Vinny on MTV.
Yeah.
And I love that show. It had great potential. Still to this day holds up. Fucking crazy weird. Celebrities would come to my house in Staten Island and my mom would cook for them.
How many episodes did you do?
We did a full season. We did probably like 12 episodes.
You had Lil Wayne on the first one?
Bro, we had Lil Wayne, ASAP Rocky, Mark Wahlberg, fucking Scott Disick, Jenny
That's
McCarthy,
right.
Iggy Azalea. We had huge people before they were even that huge. And like the person like doesn't pick up my show, or I don't know who makes the decisions, but like she calls me and she's like, yeah, we're not picking it up. And then she's like not working there the next week.
I know.
That happens a lot.
It happens so much, dude.
So I'm like,
does.
Like
Yeah.
what if that next person that takes her spot did like it and wanted it to continue? Like, why is the person making the decisions someone that's not even going to be there?
Yeah, that's tough. You know, I've pitched a lot actually. Like I've gone out and pitched a bunch of different shows. Most of the time, like not an idea maybe I came up with, but like a production company has been like, would you like to attach yourself as host, and then we'll like kind of flesh it out. And some stuff I got picked up this pilot years and years ago on TLC that was like a people watching game. And then they loved it. Everyone liked it. The ratings were good. And then they were like, we're not going to do it. And you're like, wait, why not? Not even if that's the thing that I really wanted to do for the rest of my life. But it's just like odd sometimes that it's like what gets picked and what doesn't. And it seems, I get it though. It's arbitrary, but it's also like there's so many things going. There's like, you know, can they sell it? Can they sell ads for it? Is it work in this network? Is this our demographic right now? Is this, you know, Lisa knows a lot about this stuff.
I would understand that if, like I said, the people at that institution were like there for a long time and going to be there for a long time. I'm talking about like someone who's telling you that and making that decision for that institution who won't be there tomorrow, which is odd to me because they just keep changing, you know, and merging and all this weird shit.
Yeah, do you remember so the other thing that's funny about that show that we did is it was you and me, and I tell you what to do as like an experimental thing. And the show, it was me and you, and we'd pitch it, and they were like, and the show's called Just Vinny. And I remember being like, all right, if you really think this is a good idea for the name.
Is it a
called Just Vinny.
Is it a play on words or something? Am I missing?
Yeah, no, it was a play on words, like, because I think it meant like just Vinny, meaning like I'm probably not part of like an ensemble, like a Jersey Shore ensemble. But then when you see the show, the first scene is me and Casey.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I wanted to name it?
Vinny Pig.
The Vinny Pig.
That's pretty good.
But it's also derogatory because of
in a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. So it's, but you know what I mean? I don't know. I like that idea, that sentiment.
It's genius. It makes sense, but I just don't want a show that's named The Vinny Pig.
For pig's sake.
For pigs, yeah.
I don't know, but you're keto Guido, so it's like, you know, you eat pork, you know.
True.
That's so funny though. Have you pitched a bunch of stuff like that, or have there been other things that you've,
Nah, dude. I you know, when I was like during the off years or whatever, it made me really hungry, and you know, I was just meeting with different production companies and being creative, like with you and whatever, and just like pitching and shit. And then when like the Jersey Shore started up again, they've been really keeping me busy. And it's funny because I still have that mentality of like, I hit up my agent again, like 10 times a day about doing different shit. But at a certain point, you kind of just have to like live in what you do. And I'm on 3 shows right now. So I'm kind of keeping everything on the back burner while still doing what's in front of me.
We're going to get cut off in a second because we don't pay for a premium version of Zoom because it's not that kind of podcast. So I'm going to send you a new link in a sec.
Oh, sick.
I'll just take a second.
You're going to text it to me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So do I hang up?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Okay. I actually have some questions about, because you say you hit up your agent a lot for stuff. Does your agent get a cut of when you like go to Chippendales?
I was going to say like a restaurant, like I have to give him a piece of steak.
Right, you got to bring him a doggy bag.
10% of my steak.
No, but like you do these things also that I love, that you know, I legitimately love, that you'll like go to Chippendales and you look incredible, and you'll like kind of, you must get paid a ton for that also, and it must be That's so awesome that you do it. But like, does somebody, do you have like a manager for just that stuff?
No, my agency, like I think that Holly, like I was always under the impression that like an agency where like your agents were people that you only spoke to once in a while,
Mm,
and you have like a manager. Like if you're gonna
yeah.
entourage it, right? Like Ari was the agent. He
Mm-hmm.
would call you for like the big movie,
Uh-huh.
but then like your manager was like E, who was like
Mm,
your brother or something like that. My agents are like really, I'm close with them. Like they kind of do everything for me. And there's
right.
like divisions of like branding. One is for TV, one is for scripted, one is for
Oh, cool.
Chippendales.
digital, one is for Chippendales, who's
Just
also
Chippendale.
part of the live appearance Vinny team.
That's great. So is that something that's like, when did that come about? From the beginning?
It came about Chippendales.
No, no, the all those like teams.
Oh no, just just like when I signed with a agency eventually, like after a couple of years, and and then just kept growing and wanting to try different shit. Like I can call them up tomorrow and be like, I want to fucking make doggy apparel, and then they'll have like some person that knows like does doggy apparel. You know
I
what I
love
mean?
it. I love it called fucking doggy apparel. Like that's the name of it. Fucking doggy apparel. It would kill. It would do well.
Yeah.
I have ideas.
You should sell a doll yourself called the Mini Vinny. You should have a whole line of stuff,
I don't
capitalize on
know.
the name.
People don't buy
No.
People don't buy anything I try to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Do
tough.
you
It's interesting. It's like there's specific influencers who could like kind of crack the market who will buy anything they put out.
do you ever get gout with all the steak that you eat? Have you ever had gout?
Gout. What is gout? Is that like
I
an acid
I
thing?
think it's
Or?
a calcium deposit or something in your foot. Allie, what's gout?
It's for people who drink a lot of beer and only eat meat.
I thought it was like a consequence of too much meat, too
It's
much
meat, but I
red
think
meat.
it's meat and beer. I think it's like specifically people who, it's like something that like I think a lot of alcoholics get because they're drinking and eating beer so much. I mean, and eating meat. I don't know.
Well, we
It's
don't
like
have to, I mean, we don't have to get into the weeds on it, but already just from this little exchange, it sounds like the typical blame meat exchange
Oh,
because you're saying meat and then Casey's saying meat and beer. So if they ever did a study of what causes gout, you can have people saying, I eat meat every day, therefore correlation causes gout. But they're going to exclude the beer that they drink every day,
mm,
which beer is primarily wheat and flour,
mm-hmm.
and that could have caused it. And let's
Here we
not
go.
mention all the other million things that they could be doing that cause it.
Yep. I love it.
it says. I guess it says it comes from alcoholic beverages, or it's found in. It's like uric acid crystals build up in your bloodstream, and that can come from things like steak, organ meat, and seafood, but also can come from alcoholic beverages like beer. So I
Yeah, those
guess,
are very different things.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a
That's tough.
combination of the two.
I do think a combination of eating sugar and fat is very bad for you.
Yeah. I knew somebody who was like, I never eat meat with bread. And so they would eat like a veggie sandwich, or they would eat like a steak somewhere else, but they would never eat like a steak sandwich or like a cold cut sandwich.
Or AKA, yeah, like a hamburger.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
Burger.
like a cheeseburger will like, and I get a lot of my fucking science from the way food makes me feel.
Mm.
And like there's nothing that will put me out more than a fucking like a giant cheeseburger with one of those fucking buns that are like this
Oh, yeah.
thick
Awesome.
and have bacon on them and the meat and the ketchup
Sexy.
and the mayo and everything
Sexy.
just mixed together
Sexy.
with the fries on the side.
Chippendales.
Yeah,
Nothing will put me out more than that.
it's crazy what a hamburger's become. It's like the modern hamburger is like this overloaded thing, and I don't think it needs to go that way.
You ever see those ones at like brunch restaurants where they're like, it'll be like, there'll be a hamburger like on the Bloody Mary.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's like a slider. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gout. That's how you get gout.
That's
That one.
gout.
And
That's gout.
it makes me sad because like, I really truly do this because I feel bad for people. My whole family is like diabetic and Italian and eat pasta all day and stuff.
You feel
and
bad
like,
because they're Italian?
yeah, I feel bad because we're Sicilian. No, like, because you walk into like a Five Guys or some shit And it doesn't have to be that bad for people.
Yeah.
You can still have the experience without being that bad. And, you know, like what I would do is I would just have like a couple of like 2 bacon cheeseburgers with no bun and no fries. And you're still like getting like a decent experience out of that.
Mhm.
But that's just not the way we were trained. Like if you go to Five Guys, you need to get
Right. It's
Five Guys,
almost like it's not in your mind an option to not get the
fries and the bun and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You told me this thing once that I loved, which was like, you know, I mean, like you could have a cheat meal, but like people do this thing where they have a cheat day, and that's crazy.
Cheat
You're like
weeks.
an entire day I'm gonna like eat bad because it's my cheat day. But
Listen,
a cheat
it
meal
all
once in
goes down to how much output you're doing versus the input. So, you know, if someone fucking run like a lot of bodybuilders do cheat days, and people that run ultra marathons can eat for it. I can probably get away sometimes with like eating like a cheat day because of like all my hours on my bike and everything. But the average American is exercising like a little bit, like you're burning a little bit here and there, chasing your kids around and stuff. You might start to go overboard on your cheat day. You know what I mean? So the cheat meal is more of like an insurance that you're having fun, but you're not going to go overboard.
So you're suggesting like people should just find a kid somewhere and start chasing them around, whether it's your kid, someone else's kid, just
chase
get
kids,
those
you're
legs
saying?
going.
Vinny Guadagnino chase kids.
Chasing children.
Bro, let me tell you something. Fucking in my line of work, I like if I don't get up and do shit on my own, like I could just be sitting down all day and just like jerking off, which I do
Yeah.
sometimes.
Pandemic.
But like a mom and shit, like I kind of like envy them, and you know they're like getting up, they're like burning calories all fucking day. Like once you realize like what burning calories is, you start to envy the people that are up there like just burning calories
Without thinking about it.
effortlessly. Because I'm over here on a bike like trying to emulate that.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy is this year has really like changed my perspective, which I think I've been pretty healthy over the last couple of years, but because I don't move as much and I even walk a dog now a bunch, I gained a bunch of weight eating basically the healthiest or as healthy as I've always been. Like I eat nothing. I mean, I drink a little bit more because, you know, it's just like that pandemic thing, but I used to drink, you know, maybe more in a night. And now I'm having like one or two every night or every other night. And that's empty calories, but there's a sediment. What's the word?
Sedentary.
Yeah.
Sedentary, yeah.
And there's this thing of like, I don't get out, I guess, as much as I was when I was commuting, and even just getting up and down in the office or going places, like that was enough. Like I'd take more stairs because of the subway. And I just think like it really shows you.
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah. Cause I've always been like, diet will fix everything. And now I'm
I was
like,
talking to Paulie D about that because he's like a notorious like junk food eater and stuff, and like he just doesn't give a fuck, and he could get away with it when he was touring on
Right.
every day, because just getting up in the morning, running to the airport, doing this, doing that, like it burns. It's all comes down to like, you know, your body burning energy and using fucking food as energy. And if you're just sitting around all day, again, it doesn't need to burn all that energy, and it's just going to start to stack up in your gut.
Yeah.
it's tough. You know, you're people who could exercise. I'm like amazed by it. Really, it's like everyone does it, or a lot of people do it, but it's so hard for me to get the motivation to like go to a gym.
You haven't been like, have you been exercising like during this time at all, or no?
I mean, you know, actually, when it started, Lisa was doing like a lot of these like kettlebell exercises, and I was just joining her, and we did it together every single day or like 4 times a week, and it was good. And then I was sort of like, you know, I laxed on it, and then it was just like out the window.
It's all about keeping the routine going, because once you stop doing it,
yeah, and I gained a lot of weight.
Like doing it.
Gained a lot of weight after doing it, after stopping doing it. You know, it's like, and I don't think anything else really changed. And then I was kind of like, all right, I got to get back to the, you know, but it's tough. Walking the dog has been great because I'll just go for really long walks, and it's fun. It's good for her. It's good for me.
It just happened to me, bro. And everyone should hear that message too, because it's like, it happens to everybody. Like, I think I resonate with so many people because like, I'm like, I don't really have like a 6-pack. Like it's kind of like a 4-pack. Like I'm a little sloppy. Like I don't really have big biceps.
Who's counting?
You know, like I'm just like a regular guy that like tries to do my best and be in best shape. And speaking of that, like it just happened to me. I was in LA and I was moving and I'm moving into a new place. The gyms were closed and I just wasn't focused on the gym. And like I looked at myself a couple days and I was not that I was like I wasn't eating bad or anything, but I was just like, holy shit, how can I mentally go from someone that was just like obsessively riding my bike 6 days a week, working out every day for 3 hours. You would think like I'm doing this forever. And then just like that 1 week hits that like knocks you off and then you're done. It's like, holy shit, I lost it. But then I just started getting it going again. So I didn't lose it, but that's what you feel like in the moment.
Yeah, you do feel like that. Yeah. It's almost like you're defeated by it and it continues it. It continues.
But I will say that if you don't mix in the bad eating, then you're okay. You can still be like, you know what, I haven't exercised as much, but like I still feel okay. Like diet is everything. But if you mix the two of them together, then you can really fall off bad.
I know. It's tough. It's tough this year's. I mean, I haven't been too bad in terms of like, the eating thing, but I again, it's like the drinking a lot. It's like, that's the thing. That's where I get my calories,
What do you drink?
Beer or milkshakes. No, mudslides.
A lot of cocktails. We've been making a lot of cocktails.
Yeah, I make a lot of cocktails. I think probably like I drink a lot of Negronis, and it has like kind of a Campari or something like that, and that's probably got a ton of sugar.
Bro, I don't even know what those are.
Yeah.
Wait, what's a Negroni again?
It's sweet vermouth, which is like sugar, Campari, and gin.
Okay.
So those are probably all three.
Sweet vermouth is like a wine. It's like a dessert
but you're
wine.
probably like having little sips of them. It's not like you're drinking 8 ounces of Negroni.
Let's say, but I thought the other day is like, all right, so Lisa made just like tequila and like fresh squeezed orange juice, just not orange juice, but just like squeezed orange like you would with a lime or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. And was great. And I was like, this is one shot of tequila. And then I was making a Negroni, and it's like I put a shot of gin, I put a shot of Campari, and a shot of sweet vermouth, and I was like, wait, that's 3 shots in one drink. Even if I'm having one, it's kind of 3 drinks, and it feels
3
good.
different alcohols.
Yes,
ooh,
that's a cocktail.
It's a cocktail.
Yeah.
It's weird, right? That you can say like everyone always says don't mix, and if I mix, I get sick. But there are actually drinks that mix alcohols like in one drink.
What's your drink of choice?
I like sipping like just Jameson, like
low calorie,
Jameson
right?
neat, or sometimes like I mean, I'm not supposed to do this, but like I'll just like cut it up with some ice and some club soda. But also like just like a vodka soda or whatever. But like
these are like club drinks. These are like club drinks. You wouldn't drink like a martini at a club, I guess, right?
I was just gonna say that like what's on the table is usually like vodka soda, and then if someone wants to do a shot, I won't be like I won't do a shot of vodka. I'll do like a shot of Jameson.
Right.
So like mixing in that way is okay.
It is okay.
Well, like it's like I don't get sick from it.
The people who say like, well, the idea of mixing, I think, is like if you order like a tequila soda, don't order a Jameson next, and then something with like gin after that. It's like stay consistent with your liquor. But I think
why if there's a Long Island iced tea that just mixes everything together?
Yeah,
you're right. That is the weirdest drink because
I guess it's so you can keep tabs of like how like what your intake is. I don't know.
They also would always say to me this is just so funny. This is like early going out drinking things of like if you go like shot and then a beer and then you order like a mixed drink, that might mess you up too. Kind of going back and forth between beer and hard
before liquor, you're gonna get sicker. Liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Those are the rules that I lived by in high school.
Again, that all makes sense.
Mark Twain said that.
I would get sick, but then once you put in that fucking Long Island iced tea, all the rules go out the window.
You're right.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that I graduated from the New York School of Bartending?
Did you?
Our friend Janine Haroni did too. I think I drove her to her.
I think my sister did also.
That's so funny. The one in Staten Island, in Bay Street, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I drove her there, I think.
It was on Bay Street. The test was fucking hard. The last test.
Did you have to make a cocktail? But is it for speed? Is it drinks for speed, or is it like a nice drink?
I think you have to tell me if I'm wrong. You have like 20 minutes to make like all these drinks.
Yep. So and he yells out 2 at a time to you.
Okay.
That's fun. I want to do that just for fun. Joe, we should do that just for fun.
It was fun. I don't know. Is the school still there? I'm not sure. But when I went, they had this completely old curriculum where you would learn drinks that you would never ever make. And then like I think the year after I left, they updated it to like what people actually drink. Cause I was making like
Yeah, yeah.
pink Cadillacs and
Right.
It'd be like make a Lucy Tuesday. Yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
a diner placemat with all like from Mike's Diner with all the cocktails on it.
Yeah. But like if you had like a golden Cadillac mixed with like a white Russian, like you would have to like put them next to each other, find like the common ingredient. So like let's just say rum was the common ingredient. Then you would like pick that up first, do the little slide. So you're hitting both of them with rum, then put it down, then do the individuals of whatever else finishes the drink.
Wait, so you got your license? Did you ever get a job slinging cocks?
Chippendales.
Chippendales, dude.
No, but like slinging
Professional
cocktails.
cock slinger.
Did you bartend anywhere?
I did. I actually just posted my fucking resume online because I was cleaning out my house and I posted like some old essays from CSI and I found like my old resume. And the first thing says private party bartender. I had one bartending job at a place called Zin Lounge on Staten Island.
I remember
know that
Zen
one.
Lounge. I remember
It
Zen
was
Lounge.
it was a fucking sushi restaurant that used to turn into like a teen club.
Is it the South Shore? Like,
No, it was on Clove Road.
oh wow,
Is
what
it
am
where
I
the
thinking of?
Iguana Cafe was in on Clove and Victory?
No, it was okay. So if you're going on Clove, you know where Clove and Richmond Road is? By like kind of
yeah.
going towards the Verrazano?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Clove, right?
No.
By the firehouse.
By the firehouse. Is that Little Clove where you can make a right onto Richmond Road?
By St. Sylvester's.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I know you're talking about. Yeah,
There was
I-
a Dolphin Fitness there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love these conversations.
He's like, yeah, Dolphin.
There's a train station over there.
I know exactly what you're
Is that
talking about.
Grasmere? That's
Grasmere.
Grasmere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like yeah, by like West Fingerboard over. Anyway, there's like a parking lot over there, and that's where Zin Lounge was. And I remember like my boy got me a job. It was the most fun job I've ever had. But it was so sick. It was like my one and only bartending job. And then like 2 years later, I was on Jersey Shore.
Wow.
That's a different kind of school than like mixology. Is that what it's called? When it's like
Yeah.
when it's like the fancy cocktails that are like all about balancing it with the citrus and the acid. Like
Yeah.
that's different from like, did you learn how to do body shots at this school? Did you have
No,
to
I
train in
learned that
that?
at Zin Lounge. At Zin
Okay.
Lounge, I learned the
When was the last time you did a body shot, either to give or receive?
years? I would never into body shots.
No, I think it's disgusting. Belly buttons are a weird place.
Body
Actually,
shots.
I might have done. Oh no, I did a shot off of a girl's ass like in the last couple of years.
But like the shot glass was in the butt.
No. Like it was
Dribbled
like
it down.
on
Like
not the ass crack, like just the cheek,
Okay.
and just kind of like licked it off.
Was there a salt? Was there a salt
Listen,
rim?
if I'm licking something, it's gonna be an ass cheek, not a fucking belly button.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's true.
When you said the ass shot, I imagine though that you were somehow underneath and it poured through the asshole.
Like a luge.
That's pretty bad. Yeah,
that's the salt rim.
yeah,
That's
I
how you
don't,
get
that's
that.
bad for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's.
Casey, have you ever done a body shot?
I don't think so. No. Let me really rack the old noodle.
Not out of a. I don't think I have out of a belly button. I don't know if I ever have at all.
armpit, mouth. You know that's never a thing. You know how like a shotty where you like you take the blunt and you put it backwards and you blow it and then someone puts their mouth there and takes
It's
that
like
in.
the romantic way to.
Yeah, is
share
that going to
weed.
go away? Like with the pandemic, like are people still?
man.
Hey, are people still doing shotties? But that was never a thing where it's like I'm going to do the shot and I'll spit the shot into your mouth.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen. I've seen girls do that.
to each other.
Yeah, to each other. Yeah.
Oh.
Of course you
Unsanitary.
have. Of course. That's so
You've
funny.
seen, Casey, you've seen my late FaceTimes.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you haven't done that in a while. That's funny.
I get FaceTime by interesting people.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. There were some fun times. We went out to dinner a few times with like fun people, like fun friends of yours. And I was always like, no one ever made me feel like the odd man out, which was really nice.
That's good.
But it was so funny.
Where did we go to dinner?
I forget someplace in
When I brought you to Bounce.
yes, I remember that too. We went. It was a different night, but we went out to like some. It was like like a kind of like a steak place that is also a club. Like and I don't remember.
Like STK.
Z1.
It was in the city somewhere. I forget. I forget even what the impetus was.
And then it was so funny because then I would feel the exact same way hanging out with the improv people
Right.
with you afterwards.
Man, the Staten Island connection is so strong, though. Were we, like, if we went back into like when we were all in high school at the same time, right? You're born what, 86?
87.
87.
You're a year younger than me and 2 years younger than Casey.
Right. But so we'd all be in high school together. Do you think we would all be friends? I mean, me and Joe were. So
Yeah.
Well, you went to Farrell, right?
Yeah. Where'd you go?
I went to Moore for like 1 semester, and then
That's where
like,
Jenny went.
yeah, it was weird. It was like they were on strike, and I didn't like it. So then,
Oh yeah, that was a crazy year. That was
9/11.
9/11. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Our school went on strike too.
Dude, we were in the auditorium because the teachers were on strike
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah.
Us too. Yeah.
So like they're like, everyone get back to your classrooms, and we're like, oh, I guess like they're done striking now, and
Guess it went well.
It's the worst news ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it was just weird. I wasn't really feeling it, and like I didn't realize I was so much better off going to Farrell because like you think like, oh, I don't want to go to Farrell because it's an all boys school or whatnot, but you really should go. I mean, this isn't actually good life advice, but I should have went to where my friends were going.
That's exactly
so-
what I did. Yeah.
Just so that you have like a little bit of a foundation and like a home base to
Yeah.
I had, and Moore had like no home base.
Yeah.
I went from being like a kid that like had friends in my whatever school to having no one to sit with at lunch. No
Because
one.
even in college, you at least get a roommate. So
In
it's like
college, you get a roommate, and everyone's kind of doing the same thing together.
yeah, and you're older, so it's like immediately like everyone's a little bit more adult. Whereas in high
Yeah.
school, like it could be really weird and everyone's still awkward or clicky.
But
That-
bro, like I mean, listen to that though. Like everyone's like only in high school, coming from 8th grade to high school,
Mhm.
is the time where you would know people. In
Right.
college, you're not really supposed to know people. You might know one person that went to your school or something like
Yeah.
that. But in high school, it was full on groups. Like my whole entire graduating class of boys like went to Farrell.
Where'd you go to?
Oh wow.
Where'd you graduate 8th grade from? Like what school did you?
St. Rita's,
Oh, so you went Catholic school to Catholic school. Okay.
kindergarten to 8th grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the classic
That's what I mean.
trajectory.
Yeah. So that whole like entire group went to Farrell. I went to Moore because I thought like I was cool and like there was girls there, and my sister went there, and my cousin went there, but I had no one to sit with at the
Did you have a
lunch break.
scholarship too?
No, dude, I'm like the worst at standardized tests.
Yeah, I got a scholarship to Moore.
Really?
And
Yeah, I think they were just handing them out. If you like,
they were
broke,
handing them
if you
out.
like broke 1,000 on your SAT, you got a
Yeah.
scholarship.
Wait, SAT? You mean co-op?
No, SAT. Oh wait, that's
Yeah,
how,
co-op.
right?
Co-op
Oh,
was-
Yeah, yeah.
co-op. Oh,
Remember the
shit.
co-op?
Jeez, yeah.
I didn't even do-
ITBS.
I didn't do that well. Like Farrell, it was so funny. Farrell, I got so I put this is so funny. You put 3 schools.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I put Farrell, Peters, Moore,
Uh-huh.
and the ranking you put them into could help you determine what scholarship you get. So
Or if they'll accept you.
or accept you. So if I put Farrell 3, I might not get in. So Farrell I put 1, and I got like the dumb kids program.
Yeah.
2, I put Peters, and I got like partial, like a quarter scholarship, and in Moore I got like a half scholarship, and I put them 3.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's
They're like,
Moore.
please come here.
It's
All
not-
these schools had like imagery in my mind too. When I pictured Peters, it was like a scary place
I
where
know.
like the bad boys went. I didn't want to go there,
Yeah,
like
it was like very blue.
yes, yeah, that's the
And
exact
Moore was
color.
red, and
Yeah.
Farrell
Yes.
was burgundy.
Well, those are all the school colors.
Those
Like
are the colors, yeah.
That's
Very
true.
nice.
They're also like
you ever-
metaphorically. They were metaphorically burgundy.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Did you ever
remember, like,
consider C? Because that's another co-op school, co-ed.
No, it was just more because, like I said, like I had a couple family members that were
Yeah.
there, but I just remember like for the first time in my life, like not having anybody to sit with, and like I said, they were full on like IS 72 tables.
Mm.
And then I went to Wagner because like in my neighborhood, all the kids went to Wagner, but they were like 4 years older, 3 years older than me. So they were all seniors.
Mm.
So I wanted to go where they were going, thinking that I was going to be friends with them. And then I went to Wagner. I was in the same exact position, but at least it was like kind of closer to home. And I did have some friends there. If I caught them at lunch and shit, you know,
Yeah,
high school is all about lunch.
big time.
It is.
Homeroom
It
and
i-
lunch, all the hangs.
That is
That was
funny.
the thing. I ostensibly got into a better school, into tech, like,
Oh yeah.
but I wanted to go to Farrell because that's where my friends would be,
See,
like,
tech, I can see a place of meeting new people because like not everyone's getting into tech.
yeah. So
So
it's
it's
another.
like a coalition of like the best of each
And Casey's
age
dad
grade.
would have been my teacher, so I
Oh, at
still
tech?
in your
My
life.
dad taught at Tech, which is a reason I didn't want to go. And then my brother went to Regis, which is I didn't want to go to the same school as my brother. I had done that for whatever 9 years, and I was like,
That's in Brooklyn? Where's Regis?
it's in Manhattan.
Oh, Manhattan. Okay.
It's bougie. Well, it's free. It's a free high school, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's like upper echelon. I don't think I might get in just because like that
The
thing
legacy?
of legacy, or he did well, so they were like, yeah, I mean, his grades suck, but no.
I was so stupid. There's so many things I should have went to Farrell. I should have went to like a better college. Like, I could have done other things, but I was just I was just stupid.
Yeah, but it all worked out in a way that you couldn't
Yeah,
have
now I'm a
predicted, so-
Chippendale stripper. Slanging
Exactly.
Yeah, slinging cocks.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
It's over. I feel like we didn't even start.
I know. That's how good we are. We could keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep
yeah.
going.
Sweet.
Let's go for like
All
20
right.
minutes.
I take that back.
Yeah, I'll edit that out. No, I won't. I'm gonna leave it in.
Well, we
Oh,
didn't start recording it, right?
No,
Shit.
all this stuff is off. So you say whatever you want. Say whatever.
What do you guys usually talk about?
Yeah, this is pretty much what we talk about.
Yeah,
I-
this
stuff
is
like
it.
Farrell.
exactly an episode of that stuff.
Well, I think we're actually gonna be taking a short hiatus after this episode till the new year, just to enjoy the holidays and also like, just like me and Casey only ever work together on the show on Jokers or do this podcast. We haven't like missed each other in a while. We haven't had like, we haven't been able to hang out not in front of an audience, So
Do you ever have that, Vinny, with certain friends, like close friends, where you're like, oh, we need to take like a friend break, and so that we could be friends?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what happened to us on Jersey, like when we did the whole like 7-year or 6-year hiatus or whatever.
Was it that long? Wow.
Yeah, like it ended in like 2013, and then we came back in, well, more like 4 years, 4 or 5 years. But yeah, we literally like, I never thought I'd be like asking to film again, because like the way we film is like fucking crazy and hard and like on top of each other. But we were all fucking asking for it because we missed it.
yeah. But that's the thing. You have to miss things sometimes, to reinvigorate it.
I really miss Casey's news.
Staten Island News?
I was saying to him yesterday, like I haven't seen like any new videos come out in a while. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I was thinking I should do some more, maybe after the new year or something. It's funny. My barber is always asking for them. He's always like, "When are you gonna do more Staten Island News?"
Dude, it was so good, and I love being a guest on it. And remember you did it with Ghostface.
That was crazy. You hooked that up.
Yeah,
That was another night that you were like, I think you were just like, "Hey, I'm going to this thing, and Ghostface is gonna be here."
and he was so cool about it, because like I'm not that guy that like goes and asks people shit, and he had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. I'm like, bro, my boy, he does this thing on Instagram. How do you explain Staten Island News?
Yeah, I had also asked him to sign. I have it here, right here actually. Sign a cassette tape of his album.
Oh, nice.
And wait, no, that's Iron Man. Sorry, I have 2 of his cassette tapes, but this is Supreme Clientele, which is like one of my favorite rap albums of all time. And
Was he impressed that you had it, or was he sort
not
of
at all? He was so nonchalant. I thought he was going to be like, "Whoa, a cassette tape, dude! Holy cow!"
Yeah.
Nardwuar.
What?
You ever see those Nardwuar?
Oh yeah.
Yes, of
Like,
course.
you thought he was gonna get that kind of reaction?
Yes.
It's
And he was just like, "All right." But when I was like, "Hey, I do this thing. I'm from Staten Island, and I do this thing where I talk to Staten Island people, and I shout out sometimes local businesses, and I have this idea." And I told him to say, because I knew he grew up, like he knows the deli that I used to basically live next to in Staten Island, that Poppy owns it. And I was like,
oh yeah, in Stapleton. And
he says like, shout out to like, those banging bacon, egg, and cheeses from Poppy's, like, and that's all I wanted him to say, but pretty much, and he nailed it. But it's funny because it sounds like he's saying bacon, egg, and cheeses, but he's like, he doesn't eat pork. So people were like, did he say bacon, egg, and cheeses? Like there's this like controversy because he said
there
this.
was?
Oh, you
Yeah.
caused the Ghostface controversy?
Yeah, I did. But he says banging
That
egg and
shit.
cheeses.
Can't do anything.
No.
But yeah, so that's but it
Yo.
was so fun. And then afterwards he was like, yo, if you get a show, let me executive produce.
He said
Really?
that?
He was like, yeah. If you get a show, I'll be executive producer. I was like, cool. I was like,
Okay.
definitely,
I'll
100%.
It's nice of him to offer that, to get that
I
job.
always see Method Man. He works out. Well, when we used to go to LA Fitness, he used to work out there all the time, and he's the man.
He's so
fucking.
nice.
He's so nice, and he's fucking jacked. Like he got jacked out of nowhere, and
Yeah.
he works a lot. Like I'm just watching every single movie and shit. And like Method Man's like always in it.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
was in my brother's movie and I got to like talk to him. Like, he was so nice. Like I met him one day and he was so nice. And then the next day I was like in the makeup chair and he came over. He was like, Casey. He like remembered my name. And I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
That's cool.
And I remember there were these other guys that were like in his posse. They were actors. They were in his crew though, like in for the movie. And they were talking, and then one of them was just like, "Yo, man, what was Biggie like?" Which was like, and I was like, "I can't believe you just asked Method Man what Biggie was like." And immediately I was like, "What was Biggie like?"
Right.
Yeah. You're like, is he gonna answer? I want to
And
know.
Those
he
are
was
funny
like,
questions. What can you say? Like,
Well-
what is the answer
well,
to that?
So he was like, Biggie told me that I was his favorite rapper, and I'm the only other rapper on Ready to Die, like his first album.
Mhm.
And that song, The What.
So what? Yeah.
And he like really opened up about like how much that meant to him and the confidence that instilled in him that Biggie like said to him, I'm your favorite rapper, or like he's my favorite. And even he was like, even if it was just at that time or if he was just saying it, it's really what a high praise compliment. And like it was so sad to, when it was like devastating for like everyone he knew. It was like, like JFK was shot for hip hop.
Yeah.
And but it was cool just to hear him talk. He really got like choked up on it too, which was fun. And then he was like, "All right, y'all, let's freestyle." And then that group of guys just started freestyling. Method Man was
Really?
like, "Yeah."
Holy shit.
It was
Yeah,
like
I never
the
really
coolest.
see like people don't really bother him. People don't ever come up to me or anything in a gym. Like there's something really weird about Staten Island and just like the culture and whatever, like they don't really once in a while. So if anyone ever comes up to me or probably him in the gym, they're not from here. They're like visiting someone.
Right.
That's funny.
They're from
That's
like
great.
Texas visiting some family. But
Yeah,
like
it's
Staten Island
respectful.
people don't give a fuck.
Are you on the South or North Shore right now?
I
It's
literally
by Farrell.
I live like direct in the middle of the island, like kind of
Okay.
in New York. Wait, yo, Casey, the funniest story. I don't know if you can really tell. I mean, it's not bad, but on joking off with Fabulous.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about. Wait, hold on. You gotta
It was
remind
like
me.
it was like something like where you were giving him like some comedy bits, and he's like, "Yeah, but I don't really like want to tell jokes and stuff and be funny."
Yes.
And
So
then
they were
you
like, yeah.
then like what? Then like he was like, "All right, then you want to do music?" He's like, "No, I'm not here to do music. I'm here to be funny."
Yeah, he kept going back and forth. So the rapper Fabulous was on the show that Vinny and I worked on, and I was sort of Vinny was a cast member and I was a producer, and then they made me a cast member, but I still had to produce. So they were like, "You have to go talk to Fabulous and like tell him what you want him to do on the show." He's like confused. He wants to talk to a producer, and I was like, "Me?" I was like, "There's other producers that would be better to talk to Fabulous, but I'll go." So I went. And he was just like in a green room that was like part of another part of the building, but like in a not that didn't belong to us. And they were like just like kind of smoking weed, and I had to go in there and get a contact high and like be like, "Hey man, like so I had some ideas, like some things you could do. Like there's this like one picture that could come up and you could say this," and I like half wrapped it, and he was like, "No, man."
Oh, that sucks.
That's not.
Just to have to do that.
He's like, "I'm not here to be funny," like, and I was like, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I was also thinking like this one is like your song, this, so you could just do part of your song. And he's like, "No, man, I'm not here to do music." And so he just wanted to like be there, and that's ended up what he did.
Yeah, he's like, "Nah, man, I don't want to do music. I want to be funny." Like, I
Yeah,
remember
that's right.
You kept going back and forth. By the way,
Yeah.
Fabulous, awesome guy. I've met him many times over the years, and he's always been humble, just like Method Man. Just want to put that out there.
I have a
Yeah.
beef with him. I have beef. So Vinny,
Is it that green
you're
room
safe.
day?
You're safe with him.
that
Sure.
green-
You covered your bases, but I want the beef to be out there. Casey Joe's first Fabulous.
One time we did a Sweet 16, like, and I just got paid to like show up at a party at Sweet 16, and so did he. in Long Island, like
Yeah.
some little rich girl, I guess, that we both. It was just the weirdest combo of Vinny and
That's funny.
Fabulous.
Did he
And,
want to be funny or do music?
He was funny, and you
He
had to
didn't
rap.
want to do music, but he wanted to be funny. He didn't want to be funny, but he wanted to do music.
Yeah, that's funny. So he did you guys have to do anything?
Not together. Like we were just both different acts of the Sweet 16 of the party.
I
What's your
there's-
act like?
I think I just took pictures. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Took pictures of them. Like, of
Yeah,
people? You're the
Fabulous.
photographer.
Isn't that funny? Like the more the less involved your thing is, the easier your life is. You know what I mean? Like there are people who could like, you know what I mean? Like juggle
Exactly.
knives and like eat fire, and they have to do that. Or you could just show up and take selfies.
Dude, trust me. I wish, and like every time I went to a club and shit, like that was my number one thing. Like that's why I love Chippendales, because you can like do something.
Yeah, you're active. You're not just passing
I'm
time.
hosting, I jump in, I dance a little bit, then I jump out. I'm not just standing there being myself, so
Yeah, that's fun.
that's what I
And
loved about improv too.
it's probably exhausting to just kind of like meet and greet nonstop with like it's like
Meet and greet's not even bad. I like the meet and greet. It's
You
the
love
part
meat.
where-
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
part where everyone's like staring at you, like waiting for you to do something.
right.
And I'm just like drinking my drink, like trying not to make eye contact with everybody.
Right.
I always, like, we do this Joker's Cruise thing.
Uh-huh.
And it's so weird because nowhere really in the world is anyone ever like trying to take a selfie with me. But on the Joker's Cruise, people are like, want photos of me, like with me and Joe, because we've been producers on the show for a long time. We've done some on-camera stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting, but I don't know how to behave. I'm always like, this is so, okay. It's a weird thing. And I imagine like being that everywhere.
Yeah, but the selfie is fine. It's more about, like I said, just people they finally see you in person and they're like, here it is, go.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just like, and that's like DJs have it made, because DJs could just fucking go behind the booth, play music, and they're good. I'm sure the Jokers had to, well, they do those tours, like shows together, right?
Yeah. And that's
I'm sure
performing.
I'm sure they've done one-off appearances and shit at like some restaurant.
Yeah, James Murray does this thing where he does stuff at Dave and Buster's all the time. I'm not sure what he does, but it's like, bring your family and we're all gonna hang out. And I think he like plays games with people and does selfies and stuff.
Yeah.
Seems similar to Chippendales.
Yeah, I like it. At Dave and Buster's. I like getting on the mic too. Sometimes like I hype the crowd up and shit. I miss that. That's what I miss so much about like during this time. I miss traveling and going to like little weird cities and going to I've seen the craziest, most fun stuff in these little strange places in like Canada and shit. And it's like, holy shit, I can't believe, like I miss it so much.
Yeah.
That's what the Jokers always say too. That like it's like the weird small towns where they like go to outlets or like thrift stores. Like Q loves going to thrift stores and getting weird cameras. Like you just he has like little hobbies that he does on the road, which is fun.
Well, dude, I'm in the night. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say we're gonna get kicked off in a sec again because
all right,
time flies.
Let's just get kicked off. I'll come back if you want.
All right.
We'll keep it going. We're rolling with Vinny.
Because I could. No, I was gonna say like I'll come back another like time.
Oh yeah, okay, all right, that makes sense.
So we don't like bust our nut.
We don't have to set up
Yeah,
another.
you gotta
thing.
save. We should edge today and then save the rest for next time.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, bro. I literally just tweeted. I'm like, I feel like going on a podcast and talking, but like I just want to do this, talk to like my friends, like not like talk about stupid shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
nice.
The best stupid shit, not like
Yeah.
We'll talk even stupider shit next time.
All right.
And is it okay if our sponsor Jody, if he puts that on his social media?
Oh yeah, for sure. Whatever you want.
I'll send you the $25.